Picture this. You're sitting in your living room on a Saturday morning, having coffee, when you hear vehicles pull up. You look out the window and see three people in business clothes in a locksmith van. They're not knocking. They're heading straight for your door with equipment to change your locks. They're trying to evict you from your own house without a court order. What do? My name is Jake, and this is the story of how I stopped an illegal HOA eviction attempt with a shotgun. And no, nobody got hurt. But they sure as hell ran. Let me set the scene. About 18 months ago, I'm living in Pine Ridge Estates. Nice 3-bedroom house on 2 acres. Quiet neighborhood. I'd been there 6 years, no problems. Then the HOA board changed. New president, guy named Richard. Real estate investor type, always in a suit, always talking about maximizing property values. He started implementing crazy rules. Pink colors, mailboxes, guest restrictions. But I stayed out of it. Paid my dues every month through automatic bank transfer. Kept to myself. Then 6 months ago I got a letter. Dear Mr. Brennan, you are delinquent on HOA dues. Total owed, $12,400. Pay within 10 days or face legal action. $12,000? I'd been paying every month like clockwork. I had bank statements proving it. I called Richard. Richard, this is Jake Brennan. Your letter says I owe $12,000. That's wrong. I've been paying every month. His voice was cold. Our records show otherwise. Multiple missed payments plus violations. What violations? And I have bank statements showing every payment. Bring your documentation to the board meeting. I showed up with 18 months of bank statements. Laid them all out. Richard barely looked at them. These don't match our records. Then your records are wrong. The money left my account every month. Prove the payments were properly received. I just showed you. Meeting adjourned. I called a lawyer the next day. Tom Rodriguez, HOA specialist. Showed him everything. Tom frowned. Jake, this smells like fraud. They're manufacturing fake delinquencies. Has Richard bought any properties in the community? Yeah. 2 houses last year from people who left suddenly. There it is. He manufactures debts, forces people to sell cheap, buys the properties. It's a scheme. We sent a formal dispute letter with all my payment records. Certified mail. Richard's response? Dispute denied. Debt stands. Pay within 30 days or we proceed with foreclosure. Foreclosure on a house I owned outright. Tom filed suit. But lawsuits take months. Meanwhile, Richard escalated. More violation notices. Grass too long. Truck, improperly parked in my own driveway. Fence needed repair when it was fine. Every violation, $500 fine. Then I got served. The HOA was filing for foreclosure, claiming I owed $20,000 with legal fees. Tom said it wouldn't hold up. You have proof. They have fraud. Judge will see through it. But Richard started showing up at my property, taking photos, walking around. Once I caught him trying to peek in my windows. What are you doing? Property inspection. You're in default. Get off my land. He smiled coldly. This'll be HOA property soon. Better start packing. I installed security cameras. Front door, back door, driveway. If he tried something, I'd have proof. 2 weeks later, Saturday morning, I heard vehicles. Multiple vehicles. I looked out. 3 cars and a locksmith van. Richard and 2 board members getting out. The locksmith heading for my door with equipment. They weren't knocking. They were going to change my locks. I grabbed my phone, started recording, called 911. There are people trying to break into my house with a locksmith. Stay inside, locked doors. Officers are on the way. I could see Richard directing the locksmith at my door. I'm a gun owner. Legal, registered, responsible. I own a shotgun for home defense. With people literally breaking into my house? I went to my safe, loaded it, and walked to my front door. I opened the door and stepped onto my porch. Shotgun in my hands, barrel pointed at the ground. This is private property. You are trespassing. Police are on the way. Leave. Now. The locksmith saw me first. Eyes went wide. Dropped his tools and ran to his van. Gone. Richard turned. Face went pale. You can't threaten us with a firearm. I'm not threatening anyone. I'm standing on my porch on my property which you're trespassing on. Police are coming. You can explain why you're breaking into my house. The other board members were backing toward their cars. Richard pointed at me. This is assault. My gun's pointed at the ground. I'm on my property. You're trespassing. Leave before police arrest you for attempted breaking and entering. Sirens in the distance. Richard got in his car. All three drove away fast. 2 police cruisers arrived a minute later. I immediately set the shotgun down, hands visible. I showed them security footage of Richard directing the locksmith. Showed them the lawsuit. My bank records. Sergeant Matthews shook his head. Sir, what they attempted is illegal. You cannot evict without a court order. You definitely cannot break into someone's home. That's breaking and entering. What happens now? We'll file a report. Get a restraining order immediately. Your attorney needs to know. I called Tom from the driveway. He was furious. They tried to illegally evict you while you're suing them? They just gave us the case. Police report filed. Tom got emergency restraining orders. By Monday, Richard and the 2 board members were served. 500 feet from my property. Tom filed additional charges. Attempted illegal eviction, trespassing, harassment, fraud. Court date came 2 months later. Our case was simple. I showed 18 months of bank statements with automatic payments. Tom showed the HOA's records claiming 0 payments. Then he showed that 3 other homeowners had the same thing happen. And Richard had bought their houses cheap when they gave up fighting. The judge was not happy. Mr. Crawford, you manufactured false debts to force homeowners to sell so you could buy their properties below market value? Richard's lawyer tried to speak. The judge cut him off. This is fraud. Clear documented fraud. All claims against Mr. Brennan are dismissed. He owes nothing. Furthermore, the HOA will pay his legal fees. And I'm referring this to the district attorney for criminal fraud charges. She looked at Richard. You attempted to steal this man's home. You're lucky he didn't press charges for the attempted illegal eviction. Gavel down. We won. But it gets better. The DA did investigate. Found evidence of the scheme with multiple properties. Richard was charged with fraud and extortion. Took a plea deal. Got 2 years probation, massive fines, and had to pay restitution to everyone he'd scammed. The other homeowners? Once they heard about my case, they sued too. All got their money back. Richard was removed from the board. Last I heard, he moved out of state. Couldn't show his face in the community. New HOA board got elected. First thing they did? Hired an independent audit. Found that Richard had been skimming dues for years. The accounting errors were deliberate. My house. Mortgage-free, lien-free, completely mine. The security cameras stay up. Here's what I learned. Some people see HOAs as opportunities for scams. They manufacture debts, forge records, intimidate people into giving up their homes. It's more common than you'd think. When someone tries to steal your property, you fight back. Document everything. Get a lawyer immediately. And yes, you have the right to defend your home from illegal entry. That shotgun? I never pointed it at anyone. Never threatened anyone. I simply stood on my own porch, on my own property, while trespassers were attempting illegal entry. Completely legal. Completely justified. Richard thought he could intimidate me. Thought I'd just give up and let him steal my house. He thought wrong. The second that locksmith saw me on my porch, he ran. The second Richard realized I wasn't backing down, he ran too. Because bullies always run when someone stands up to them. Thanks for listening. This is Jake, signing off from my house. The one I own. The one nobody's taking from me. Ever.